I didn't realize I was in a toxic marriage until I started losing myself. At first, everything felt perfect. He was loving, attentive, always checking on me. He would call me just to hear my voice, text me all day, tell me how much he missed me. "I just care about you," he would say. And I believed him. It felt good to be loved like that, to feel important. But slowly, things started to change. At first it was small things. "Why are you wearing that?" "I don't like your friends." "Who are you talking to?" I laughed it off. I told myself, he just loves me too much. But it didn't stop there. The questions became rules. The concern became control. "Don't go out. Stay home. I don't trust people around you." Little by little, my life started to shrink. I stopped seeing my friends. I stopped visiting my family. I stopped doing the things I loved. Because every time I tried, it led to an argument, and I hated fighting. So I chose peace. Or at least, what I thought was peace. I told myself, this is marriage. This is sacrifice. This is love. But deep down, I felt something wasn't right. I just didn't have the courage to admit it. Then one day, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I paused. The woman staring back at me wasn't the same woman I used to be. Her smile was gone. Her confidence was gone. Her light was fading. And for the first time, I felt it clearly. This wasn't love, but I was already too deep to walk away. It didn't happen all at once. It happened slowly, so slowly. I didn't even notice when everything started to change. The man who once made me feel loved started making me feel small. At first it was just words, small comments, little jokes that didn't feel like jokes. "You're not good enough. You don't know anything. You're lucky I even married you." I laughed sometimes, pretended it didn't hurt. But deep inside, those words stayed with me. They followed me everywhere. In the kitchen, in the bedroom, even in my dreams. I started questioning myself. Maybe he's right. Maybe I'm not enough. And that was the beginning of losing myself. Every time I tried to speak up, he would shut me down, turn it into an argument, make me feel like I was the problem. So eventually, I stopped talking. I chose silence, because silence felt safer than being heard again. Then slowly, he started isolating me. "I don't like your friends. They're a bad influence. Your family doesn't respect me." And because I wanted peace, I listened. I stopped answering calls, stopped replying to messages, stopped showing up, until one day, my phone became quiet. Too quiet. No calls, no messages, no one checking on me. I had pushed everyone away, without even realizing it. And now, he was the only person left in my world. But even him was no longer the same. The love was gone, replaced by control, by anger, by cold silence. I remember one day, standing in front of the mirror, looking at myself, really looking, and I didn't recognize the woman staring back at me. Her eyes looked tired. Her smile was gone. Her confidence was completely broken. I touched my face slowly, as if I was meeting a stranger, and for the first time, a question came into my mind. How did I become this person? Tears filled my eyes, but I didn't cry, because even my tears felt tired. And in that moment, I realized something painful. I wasn't just unhappy, I was lost. The cycle never stopped. Pain, apology, hope, then pain again. Every time he hurt me, he would come back with the same words. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'll change." And for some reason, I kept believing him. Maybe because I loved him, or maybe because I had already lost myself. I didn't know who I was without him anymore. So I stayed, hoping things would get better, praying he would change. But deep down, I knew the truth. Nothing was changing. It was only getting worse. Then one night, everything shifted. He came home late. Angry. Not the usual kind of anger. This was different. Heavy. Unpredictable. I could feel it in the air. I tried to stay quiet. Tried not to say anything that would upset him. But it didn't matter. Nothing I did was ever right. He started shouting. Louder than usual. His words sharp, painful. But this time, they didn't sound like words anymore. They felt like a warning. I stood there, frozen, my heart racing, my hands shaking. For the first time, I wasn't just hurt. I was afraid. Afraid of him. Afraid of what he might do next. And in that moment, everything became clear. This wasn't love. This wasn't marriage. This was danger. Real danger. I looked at him, and I didn't see the man I married anymore. I saw someone else, someone I didn't recognize, someone I couldn't trust, and something inside me finally woke up. A quiet voice, but strong. You need to leave. I had ignored that voice for so long, but this time, I listened. I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I just stood there and made a decision. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in silence, thinking about everything, the pain, the fear, the person I had become, and for the first time in a long time, I thought about myself. Not him, not the marriage, me, and I asked myself one question. If I stay, what will be left of me? The answer scared me, because deep down, I knew there would be nothing left. And that's when I realized staying was no longer an option. I wasn't just losing myself anymore. I was losing my life, and I refused to let that happen. Leaving wasn't easy. It wasn't like in the movies. There was no dramatic goodbye. No final speech, just fear, real fear. My hands were shaking. My heart was beating so fast. I could barely breathe, but staying was no longer an option so early one morning. Before he woke up, I packed my things quietly. Each item I touched felt like a memory, a piece of a life I was leaving behind. I paused for a moment, looked around the room, and realized something painful. I had given everything to this place, and lost myself in return. Tears filled my eyes, but this time, they were different, not tears of pain, but tears of release. I walked to the door slowly, my hand trembling as I held the handle, and for a second, fear tried to stop me. What if I can't make it on my own? What if I fail? But then, another voice spoke louder. What if you stay? That was enough. I opened the door and stepped out, and just like that, I chose myself. The first few days were the hardest. I cried, I doubted myself. I felt alone, but something inside me kept pushing me forward, slowly. I started healing. I started finding myself again. The little things came back first. My smile, my laughter, my peace, then my strength, and one day, I looked in the mirror again, and this time, I recognized the woman staring back at me. She wasn't broken anymore. She wasn't afraid. She was stronger, wiser, free, and in that moment, I understood something important. Love should never hurt like that. Love should never make you feel small. And love should never cost you. Yourself, walking away didn't break me. It saved me.